A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in, baby. This is the Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. He's Tommy Wirtz. It's middays with Thunder and Tommy as Mason is en route to Manhattan, Kansas, like you do. Tommy, what's going on, my man?
Nothing much. How you doing, Mitch? How was Turkey Day, boss?
Turkey Day was fantastic. The food was awesome. Family was great. And much appreciation to you and to Sparky and to everybody who was working hard yesterday so that the rest of us could enjoy it. You guys, did you and Sparky do anything special? Did you get a turkey leg and one of you started on one end and the other started on the other? Anything like that?
Nothing like that. We hung out for a little bit though here, just like while we were working together kind of thing. Watched the end of the game together, watched the end of the game live together on the Green Bay football post-game show. So that was pretty fun. That was cool. That's to awesome. See that. And it was an awesome game, right? I had come out on air saying that I don't enjoy watching the Packers play on Thanksgiving. And even if it is maybe the most awesome game they've played all season, I stand by that take.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I am inundated, and I don't know if you've been inundated the same way today. I feel like Twitter today has been taken over by Lions fans whining. Like it has been like Lions fans are crushing the Dontavian Wicks touchdown and the timeout on the false start. Like Lions fans, I think I know that on the station that doesn't exist anymore, they used to do this chalice of tears whenever the other team would lose. They would put together like an audio package of like the other announcer and the other fans. I feel like as Packers fans today, we just need to rejoice in the tears of the Lions fans because I don't know that I've ever seen anything like it on Twitter today. Like all morning long, we were at brunch with the family, and I'm just like on Twitter. It is nonstop. We'll get to how great the game was. We'll get to what we ate for Thanksgiving. We'll get to all our traditions. But man, I think we got to start with the Detroit Lions fans' tears out of control today.
You know what I have to say to the Detroit Lions fans' tears today?
What's that, Tommy?
Looking, floating for the corner. Is he in? Waiting for the signal. Yes, he's in. Touchdown, Packers. Oh, what a catch. Dontavian Wicks.
Mitch, I don't know why that is so controversial and controversially a touchdown. Like that was so obviously a touchdown. It was not that he changed hands. If he went from his right hand to his left hand, that is different. He had two hands, then he had one hand on the football. It was not changing hands. He maintained it the entire time. I don't know how that was a controversial touchdown.
You just hit the nail on the head, Tommy. He maintained control the whole time. And the refs even came out and said, like, you can actually switch hands. You can switch hands. You can move it around as long as you maintain control. If the ball had come loose and was in the air, in the ether, in the multiverse, and then you grabbed it again, you would have lost control of the ball. Wicks had control of the ball the whole time. When he first catches the ball, that foot is still down. I know I saw Clay Travis this morning. I saw Mark Schlereth this morning, like big national names being like 100% that's not a catch. I wrote back to Clay Travis. I said, first of all, nothing's 100%, bro. Like, let's be real. We live on Earth in 2025. Nothing's 100%. He should know of anybody. But of all the Lions fans crying, like, listen, you can argue that call. Like you can say, oh, well, he was juggling it, or, oh, that foot wasn't down. But when the refs make the call that it's a touchdown, And then you go back and you slow-mo it frame by frame, and his foot is still down. And he does have control of it the whole way through. Like, you can argue till you're blue in the face, which Lions fans will do, Honolulu Blue, but they're going to be wrong. Like, that was a catch. It was a fantastic catch. And let's go right into Dontavian Wicks, because how about a game? Tommy, I know we have not loved him, this year throughout the season. There have been times we liked him, times we didn't. Man, what a day for him to show up and show out.
Yeah, and I think it was immediately after or during the game, whatever it was with Sparky, he tries to formulate, Sparky, when he's formulating topics over there and basically talking about now trusting Dontavian Wicks in this Packers offense. And I couldn't disagree more. And while Mitch, we love what we see out of Dontavian Wicks, and when he does show that potential, I can't trust it yet. I can't trust it because it was huge. It was a massive game for him. It's one game. And he does this one game stuff all the time, Mitch. Yeah. This is like, we've seen it where Dontavian Wicks, you remember last year he was getting like 13 targets in a game, and they really were trying to work it with him. Everyone looks at his separation rate. He gets away from corners very easily. He's got great cuts, great moves, great route runner, but he's always had a problem with drops. Yesterday, he didn't have that problem with drops, and he was very effective and awesome. But you got to remember, like, he's also going to probably get pushed down the depth chart when Jaden Reed comes back, and who knows if he's ahead of Matthew Golden or not ahead of Matthew Golden. I mean, a great game from Dontavian Wicks. I am rooting for Dontavian Wicks, but could this just be adjacent to the Jeff Janis, Jared Abbrederis game? You know what I mean?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you're absolutely right, Tommy. I think as we like to say on this show, two things can be true. One, amazing game for Dontavian Wicks. We're so happy for him. It was needed, it was necessary, and it was awesome to watch. And that doesn't mean he's arrived yet, right? Yeah. Like, we still don't fully trust Dontavian Wicks the way I think we now trust Christian Watson. We'll get more into the offense in the second segment of the show, so I don't want to tease it too much. We had to give Wicks some love there. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy is live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am live from my father-in-law's office, which is turned into the studio. My sister-in-law, she did all her video meetings and did a podcast from this room. It's like the perfect room in the middle of the house. You can see all the books in back. He's
smart. Yeah, you look smart.
He's wicked smart. He's wicked smart, for sure. But thanks to him and to the family for allowing me to do the show today. Packers win 31-24 yesterday. The first of three games. The Cowboys held off the Chiefs. We'll get into that. Bengals take care of the Ravens. And for those of you who are listening, maybe south of the border, or maybe listening on the East Coast, welcome in to the Bears-Eagles pregame show. We are here. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the Bears-Eagles game, but it is, of course, of utmost interest to us. And I heard an interesting take, Tommy. Well, I want to get more into this toward the end of the show, but I heard somebody very strongly on the Packers side of things break down why we're cheering for the Eagles today. I'm sorry. Why we're for the Bears today.
Oh, interesting.
Because if the Bears win, as Packers fans, we need the Eagles to lose more. We, Packers, can take care of the Bears 2 of the next 3 weeks. If the Packers take care of the Bears the way they should, and the Bears somehow upset the Eagles, that puts the Packers in a better place for a higher seed in the NFC. I thought that was an interesting take. I'm not sure I'm willing to go there just yet, but I like, we always cheer for chaos, and that just adds to the chaos of who you're cheering for.
Yeah, we are pro chaos. I can understand that, but I don't know if I'm pro Chicago yet. I'm not there yet. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Like I get in 2008 at the end of the baseball season when we were cheering for the Cubs over the Mets to knock the Mets out. I get that. That seems a little different than this. There's a lot of scenarios still have to play out. Let's just cheer for the Packers to get wins. And that's what the Packers did yesterday in Detroit. It was awesome. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. 414-677-1250. Kipperoni already writing in because we're live on YouTube and we're live on Twitter. Kipperoni132 already writing in, go Pack Go. And my guy, I got to give a shout out to my guy, Timothy Wong. If you need a ride to the airport, if you need a ride from a professional driver in the Milwaukee area, Timothy's your guy. He took care of me and Big Rumble this week, and he got us to the airport. Plenty of time. Great drive. Says, what's up, brother? Good to see you made it through Thanksgiving. I feel it was a season-defining win. It's like he says, cheering for the Bears is kind of like cutting off your nose to spite your face. So I agree. And I agree. We're not ready to go there yet. We're just cheering for the Packers. Tommy, what was your when the game started yesterday, when the game got going, what were you feeling at the beginning of that game, as you know, before it kind of got into a shootout a little bit? It started out a little more slowly, I feel like.
Yeah, I think starting, I was excited to get the ball first for some reason. I was okay with that. I don't know if it was decision that way, if the Packers took it or the Lions rather.
Detroit deferred. Deferred.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I liked that decision at the very beginning of the game. When I saw the end of the first half unfolding, I was like, oh, this is why you don't do that. I get why. But that first drive, I was very excited, very pleased what I saw. I saw a lot of good Matt LaFleur moments. I saw a lot of good Josh Jacobs moments. And then it felt like, we're missing the really good Jordan Love moments right now. And that is scary because Jordan Love, while he had a fantastic game and had 4 touchdowns, he should have had 5 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, that Bo Melton throw, right?
Yes, he had him. It was perfect. Like the creativity off script.
Great scramble.
You were going to be able to be like, oh, there's a shade of Aaron Rodgers right there where he just extends a play and makes it go. And then he choked it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can't be serious. And then throughout the game, I'm just saying, wow, this 4-point lead would be awesome if it was 8 points, or this 3-point lead would be great if it was 7 points all throughout the game. But then after that, it felt like they never missed a beat. And it was really something that the defense came up in moments they needed to come up. The offense came up in moments they needed to come up. And most importantly, Matt LaFleur came up in the moments where he needed to come up. That first drive, you could tell that was a frustrating ending because you knew you were moving on the Lions. And then Jordan Love stalls the drive out, but he figured it out throughout that, and he trusted his defense, he trusted his offense. And at the end of the game, to jump ahead to the end, when we were watching that 4th down, Sparky is on air saying, oh, I hate this, I'm a chicken, I wouldn't do this. Like, he admitted it in that tone. But you know what, Mitch? You know who the only person they pay more than 4 years, $188 million for, Micah Parsons, is the quarterback who throws the football.
Number 10. Number 10, that's right.
He needed that moment. He got that moment. Remember that moment.
Yeah, I think it was a great opportunity yesterday for Jordan Love and for Matt LaFleur. No doubt about it. They both came out looking great yesterday. Q writes in on YouTube, we have a reader. Thunder has a lot of books. Wow. While I do have this many books, Q, you missed the very top of the show. I am in my father-in-law's study right now. Because of course it's Thanksgiving, so we're down here. So showing off some of the books there. He is wicked smart. So I do have lots of books. Don't get me wrong. But he's the smarty pants.
He's the big book guy. I got it. You want to go to the phone lines here, Mitch?
Let's sneak one in before we get to break. Absolutely.
Let's do it. Roger and Cudahy on the Nicolay Law Talking Text line. Roger, how we doing today, Roger?
Happy Friday, day after Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed it. Quick question, and I haven't heard an answer, and I don't know if it was addressed. Why the heck were they kicking the ball into the end zone? And I'm assuming that was on purpose, because the second half, clearly, they were kicking it to the 2nd and 5. In the first half, after they did it, the best I think they brought it out was the 34-yard line. Do you guys know an answer to that? It's kind of curious.
Roger, thanks for the call, my man.
Great question. Tommy, I don't know if you heard anything post game. I did not, but I do know that we noticed that right away. Obviously we're not together watching the game, but we're on a text chain, and even Mason, like all three of us were texting, why is that's 3 in a row for McManus into the end zone now?
Yeah, I think that there are two things true about this, Mitch Nellis. One, I still think that no one knows these new kickoff rules. I have no idea what's going on. Like, you have to kick it in the landing zone. If it lands in the landing zone, but then goes out the back, it goes to the 20. But if you kick it into the end zone, you stop at the 35. And the other thing true about this, Mitch Nellis, I don't think it matters when your special teams is the Green Bay Packers. Like, I mean, it really feels like
you wanted to say a bad word. You wanted to say a bad word there, didn't you?
Like, it is the Packers special teams. It doesn't matter if they kick it into the end zone or they let them return it. They're starting at the 30 to 35 yard line every time, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't think it was planned to kick it into the end zone. I think McManus, I don't know if it was the juice. I don't know if he's feeling healthy finally. I don't know if it's kicking indoors, and so he didn't account for that, because those kicks were only a yard or two into the end zone. I think he was trying to kick them to the 1 or the 2, and he just booted it just a yard or two too deep. But I think that's a great question for Bisaccia this week, because most teams, as we all watch all the games, and yesterday there were 3, and there's another one today coming up in less than 2 hours. I got to cheer for the Bears to lose. Come on, but I do think that kickers are trying to kick it in between the 5 and the goal line, and I think McManus missed, and it was kind of weird that he missed 3 times. Like, that's a lot. That didn't make sense. I didn't love that.
So I'm looking at the stats for it right now. In the NFL touchback leaders, Brandon McManus, despite playing 2 less games than pretty much everyone else, 3 less games once all the games happen, is 5th in the NFL in touchbacks. So I don't know if he's being told. Maybe he's being told just kick it to the end zone every time until we tell you not to, because
we don't trust. Yeah, maybe they just don't trust the coverage teams, or they don't want to get anybody hurt. Like, or this could be an injury situation where it's like, we've had a couple injuries of key special teamers, and they don't want to get anybody else hurt. Like, they can't suffer a Bo Melton injury. So let's not get Bo Melton hurt. Let's just kick a touchback, because then there's no way he gets hurt. I don't know. That's a great point.
Yeah, I can't believe it. He's that high on it. Now, he is like a little bit of ways away from the very top, Ethan Evans, but I don't even know. He's the punter out in LA doing the same thing. Like, at the top of this list, however, Mitch, I will say this: the teams ahead of the Packers, if you're just going off of McManus, the Broncos, that's a playoff team, right?
Yep.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, that's a playoff team right now.
As of right now, yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys, who is the last team anyone wants to face right now. It feels
not
like
a playoff team, but playing really good football. Yep.
And the Los Angeles Rams. So
best team in the NFL, arguably.
Right. I mean, again, like, there is no translations to bad teams are doing this, I will say. And the team that he's tied with, because he's tied with 12, it's San Francisco. So again, there's not bad teams doing this more often.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. All right. You know what? That's something to keep an eye on. I definitely think that's something to keep an eye on. We're going to keep our eye on the offense when we come back. We're going to dive deeper into Wicks. We're going to get into Watson, into Love, the running game, the O-line, Luke Musgrave and his legs are just amazing. That video you sent, Tommy, you got to share that on social media. It is unbelievable. On one of John Jacobs' big runs, Musgrave's legs, he just goes
he just falls.
Just falls down.
He's baby deer legs. Baby deer legs. There's nothing else to say about him.
Absolutely amazing. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Black Friday. What are you shopping for today? What was the best thing you ate yesterday or today? Leftovers count. I had apple pie for breakfast. And then we went out to a grill where I had some wings for early lunch before the show. Yeah. Because I actually wanted the French dip, and they were out of it. It was the one thing they didn't have in it, because I could have gone for some red meat, because yesterday was all poultry, of course. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. What are you shopping for on Black Friday? What was the best thing you ate today? And what was your favorite moment from the Packers game yesterday because there were so many great moments, such a great win. I will let everybody know that we're going to do our pick segment today. But yesterday, privately, Tommy, Mason, and I made our picks. Two of us picked the Packers. One of us picked the Lions. I'm 0-1. I picked the Lions. I just, and I couldn't be happier to have been wrong. That's for sure.
Good point.
Yep. No, I love it. I love it when I'm wrong, but my team wins. No doubt about it. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, middays with Thunder and Tommy right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
deep. Christian Watson down there. He's got it! Touchdown, Packers!
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Mitch Nellis and Tommy Wirtz with you on this day after Thanksgiving, this absolutely amazing Victory Friday. I'm sure John Kuhn's eating all the fried chicken. Does he still do fried chicken Victory the day after Thanksgiving? Like after he just ate an entire turkey yesterday, does he eat an entire chicken today?
I don't know. Is that a thing? Is that
Victory Chicken. Victory Chicken's a John Kuhn thing. He loves his Victory Chicken. Yeah.
Can I say something? Here's my first Thanksgiving hot take. Turkey.
All right, here we go. I was going to ask, do you even like turkey, bro?
Turkey's not bad. Turkey's solid. That's what I was going to say. I would like you to know that I stuck true to my no carbs going on right now and everything. So we went with just turkey and it was great. And, I put a little gravy on it, but other than that, turkey is fine. And people to say like turkey is not very good. Look, it's one day a year you eat this turkey. Like, I get it. You don't want to eat turkey the rest of the days for sure. But Thanksgiving is all about tradition, and turkey is the tradition. All right. There are way better foods on Thanksgiving that have been kind of adopted by Thanksgiving that are much less Thanksgiving foods, in my opinion. And if turkey is, eat the turkey. Just eat the turkey. That's all I got to say.
It's also not our job to tell you that the person who makes your turkey is doing a bad job if the turkey's not good. But I'll say it. Like, because I think turkey's delicious. We do two turkeys. We do a deep fried, which is always my favorite. I'm always here for a deep fried turkey. And then we do an oven roasted one as well, which is always fantastic as well. We had two great turkeys yesterday and they were really good. We got tons of leftovers. I'll be bringing some home. Tommy, some might end up in your stomach. You never know.
I'm be down.
Turkey's
exactly. Good. I like turkey.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talking text line. 414-677-1250. Your favorite moments from yesterday, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it was the parade, whether it's the football game. Certainly the football game should be on that list. Today's Black Friday, of course. So any deals you're looking at, any deals you need to tell us about would be great because we're always looking for deals here on the Mason Crosby Show. We came back with that sound of that Christian Watson touchdown. And man, I got to say that I loved the way the game went yesterday because the offense kept its foot on the pedal. Yeah. And I loved, I don't like whether you're even when you're up 4, when it's that back and forth, you're up 4, you're down 3, you're up 4, you're down 3. But when you're up 3, you're up 10, you're up 7, you're up 14, you're up 7, when you keep the lead that way, and I know Campbell, like Jameson Williams dropped that ball, not Jameson. Jameson Williams. When he dropped that ball on 4th down, it's a bad look because he dropped the ball. I don't mind them going for it on 4th down there. I do understand that a field goal cuts it to 1 score. And at that point, maybe Detroit should have done that. But the way Green Bay was scoring, I don't know that you wanted to cut it to 7 at that point if you're Dan Campbell. And the Packers offense was seriously on one yesterday, especially once Love got hot. Wicks, Watson, Dobbs. I mean, it was, 4 touchdowns, Tommy.
Yeah, the offense looked trusted. The offense looked like they were leaning into their strengths all day. The offense didn't look like they were avoiding or forcing anything. Even Josh Jacobs yesterday, Mitch, I don't care what his final numbers are. That was the best Josh Jacobs has looked all season. He was running hard. He looked like he was healthy for a change. And it looked like the offensive line has found their decision in, Jordan Morgan just doesn't play and Anthony Belton does instead, because it seems like when Anthony Belton plays every single snap yesterday, the offense looks pretty damn good too during that time frame. Not only just to give credit to Jordan Love and Dontavian Wicks for their big game, but Christian Watson yesterday, he had a couple of bad drops, in that one. And
absolutely.
He had some plays where he could have had an even better day.
Right, where he wasn't. I don't know if he had the opportunity to catch the ball with their hands.
Yes,
and maybe defender had an arm in there, but he had his hands out with the opportunity to catch it and just didn't bring it in for whatever reason.
Right. And I'm not even just talking about the one where it should have been pass interference, but
that one he held it. Yeah, that one he held his arm.
Like, honestly, in that frame though, it was like the Packers kind of got a little lucky with the officials. It felt like so. If that's going to go against us, it didn't really feel like that was going to be anything that would have been.
That felt it evened it out. Didn't that feel like it evened it out a little bit? Like even if the Packers did get lucky, they kind of got screwed on that call. And so like it kind of, that's why in 60 minutes of a game, these calls typically even themselves out.
Yeah, I thought that the game did even itself out. But I also think that even with a down game from Christian Watson, not necessarily that's what I want to go, but not perfect game from Christian Watson. Oh my God, is his impact felt on this Packers offense right now? It is. Yes. It's completely different. Mitch, that touchdown, like, do you remember? I don't even know the last time the Packers went downfield if it wasn't to Christian Watson.
Right. If they did, it was probably a Matthew Golden throw where it was kind of like up for grabs or behind him but it's like, it's a different feel when you throw downfield to Watson than when you throw to anybody else.
That touchdown. That touchdown, that felt like I knew Christian Watson was down there. That was that was a touchdown where Aaron Rodgers turns his hips and fires, and you're like, oh, who's down there? Who's he got? Who does he see? Right? It was nostalgia in that touchdown throw yesterday, not comparing Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers, but you could tell Jordan Love saw Christian Watson before he even got in the frame. You knew good things were going to happen. That has not always been the case, and maybe the exact opposite with Jordan Love at times. When he's throwing it down there, you're like, what's going on, right? What's going to happen? But you knew. You could tell he saw him, and then as soon as you see it's one-on-one, you're like, oh, he's going to separate. You could tell it's done, and it was a perfect play. It was Matt LaFleur trusting in his guy to go make the throw, and it was Jordan Love trusting his guy to go up and get the football.
No doubt about it. 414-677-1250 is the phone number here. That's the Nicolay Law Talking text line right here on the Mason Crosby Show. We're also live on YouTube and live on Twitter. Chad K writes in, thank God you two are doing a live show. He says, Jordan Morgan is a tackle. No way he should be playing guard. Belton is raw, but let him stay. Dude, Belton is here to stay at guard. Belton is proving himself. And I know, again, like as we talked about in the first segment, what Belton, that false start, which you could argue LaFleur's hand signal was definitely after the false start. But was he yelling timeout, timeout, timeout while he was yelling? And listen, if the refs are going to give it to you, listen, every play in the NFL are double zeros on the play clock. And we're not calling those, So to me, that's what it was kind of like. Like the LaFleur was already running toward the ref before the false start. Now, whether he got there in time, I don't know. But if you know that his intent is to call a timeout while he's running at the guy, well, then you give him the timeout when he starts the run.
Did you hear his presser answer to this at the end of the game? Because I got it right here if you'd like to.
I go ahead, because I think I heard it, but then I also saw an AI of it. So
were you calling for that? Like, did they get that right? And what did you see that made you want to?
Of course they got it right. What do you think, Pete?
Couldn't tell him.
I was calling timeout.
What you don't see is, of course, they got it right, and then a little wink.
So did he wink in real life? Because that sure looked like AI.
No, I'm pretty confident
that was real life.
That was a real wink.
I don't like that. That. That's a little too much. That's a little too much giving credit to the Lions. Then,
yeah.
If I'm a Lions fan, that would piss me off.
Yes, yeah. I think. Look, and that was a huge part of the game, right? The Packers score a touchdown the very next play, and they get to keep it at 4th and short as opposed to a probably obvious field goal situation if it's 4th and 6 during that time. But Matt LaFleur, what is he supposed to do? He's not going to say, oh, no, it's not the commercial of coach. I touched the ball. You know what I mean? You can't have that situation happening. You take what you get. He got the call. Maybe his intent was timeout before timeout was actually called. But no, I don't know if they actually did get the timeout in time. And it ultimately ended up being a huge difference in the ball game.
You know what's crazy about the game yesterday? And listen, stats can be skewed and changed. However, Jared Goff had a higher quarterback rating than Jordan Love did.
He looked good. I mean, he was carving it out.
He absolutely was. He had half as many incompletions. He had a higher average pass yard. And so I get it, but that's just kind of one of those interesting. I mean, listen, Jordan Love was 124 and Goff was 132. Both quarterbacks looked really good. I think part of the key to the win yesterday was how important it was for the Packers to have that lead. And it got a little like when Williams scored that touchdown at the end of the first half. I think we all spent halftime a little nervous. I spent halftime. I had to go run an errand. Where did I go? Did I go to the grocery store? Or did I go? I had to run out. And I had to get some sugar. I had to get some Dijon mustard. I had to get some. We got some Diet Dr. Pepper. We had like 5 or 6 things we had to get. Yeah. But we knew we had a longer halftime, so we knew we had the time to get that done. But when they scored that touchdown, knowing that they're getting the ball to start the second half, like that was a little nerve-wracking there, Tommy.
Yeah, and then the defense comes up big on the first drive of the second half. I also want to say this, that I understand the Lions can take the angle of Amon-Ra St. Brown leaving in this game too, which I think is fair, but I do believe Jameson Williams does not have the day he has if Amon-Ra is playing in the game.
Of course not.
Because they just kept doing the same route with him the entire game. It was like, hey, you're going to start over here, and I want you to run to the other sideline. Like, go get your 15 yards deep, and then just burn Keyshawn Nixon. And I'm not even mad at the way Keyshawn Nixon played, because Jameson Williams is just the fastest guy in the NFL. I mean, like that's
correct.
No one's going to be able to hold him on that route. The Packers deciding that they're just going to hopefully bend, don't break with him whenever this is going on. And they don't make the tackle, which was huge at the end of the first half. But Jameson Williams, I don't think he goes for 144 if Amon-Ra's playing in this game. And I don't think,
of course not.
And I don't think Amon-Ra is going to go for 144 in this game either. I think me and Sparky were talking about it. We couldn't see anything or hear anything out. Like, that's got to be the most yards allowed by a wide receiver in the Jeff Hafley era. Like, I don't even know, like, if I've ever seen anyone. And Jameson Williams did it because of his elite ability to run faster than everyone else. Like, there was no stopping it, and that wasn't a part of the game plan, because they were game planning for Amon-Ra St. Brown in this one. And ultimately, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. He doesn't get to play. I don't feel sorry about it, because Green Bay's missing all their top pass catchers too.
You mentioned it earlier. You mentioned Josh Jacobs, and I think Josh Jacobs looked great. I think he looked healthy. He did bang up his knee at one point. I got a little nervous, but then he came back into the game. And I think we didn't see Manny that much. He played a couple plays.
Came in for a couple of big runs to get first downs. Had a couple of those.
And so you can still count on him. And I don't know, like I feel like I didn't notice the offensive line that much. And that's probably a good thing.
Sure.
That, I didn't see, there weren't a lot of false starts. There weren't a lot of holes.
No sacks allowed.
No sacks allowed, right? There were some times Love had to scramble and move the pocket, and that's going to happen. But you're playing against a guy like Hutchinson, and you don't let him do anything against you. Meanwhile, Micah Parsons, who we'll talk about in the next segment when we get to the defense, is just destroying people and causing havoc all over the place. I mean, and I will also say the fact that Branch didn't hurt anybody. Because I think anytime you're on the field with Branch, somebody's going to get very likely can get hurt.
Kirby Joseph wasn't playing, right? Like that was that's the guy.
But Brian Branch does it too. Like I think both of them, there are times that they can hurt people.
Could you imagine Micah Parsons, the highest paid edge rusher in the NFL, $46.5 million.
Yep.
The second highest, Aiden Hutchinson, $45 million. Like thank the Lord that contract didn't end up in Green Bay. And I know he's got time, but as far as what he does against the Green Bay Packers, like he's taken out of the game. It feels like every time. I don't know if I've ever seen him hit anyone on the Packers. And I know he likes to line up on the Zach Tom side. So Zach Tom always does his business too, but even like no sacks allowed, right? So Rasheed Walker held his own if he ever had to go up against him too. Like that contract for Aiden Hutchinson, like he doesn't do it against the Packers at least. So
no.
I'm glad that Micah Parsons got the massive deal and it wasn't Aiden Hutchinson that we ended up with.
And back to kudos for the offensive line. Like the offensive line did its job. And let's look at the defense when we come back. And you know, give all the kudos and all the things to Micah Parsons and everybody who made plays, because he wasn't alone. But he was a wrecking crew yesterday. That is for sure. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. 262 writes in, wait, the Mason Crosby show is actually live today? Wow. You're darn right we are. 262. We're right here, and we're talking Packers all day long. Ryan Wood from the Green Bay Press-Gazette is going to join us around 1 o'clock as well. Next week is the 19th annual toy drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest. Stop by Plains Farm and Fleet and Oak Creek between 8 a and 6 p. daily from Monday through Friday. That's December 1st through 5th to donate in person. I'll be out there during the Mason Crosby show on Monday and Friday. Mason will be there on Monday. It's going to be a blast. I'm sure Tommy will make his way out there during the days as well. If you can't make it, you can always go online to wisportsradio.com, wisportsradio.com to donate today. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon with Mitch Nellis and Tommy Wirtz today, holding it down here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
There's Parsons standing up. Like Parsons gets double teamed. Goff still in trouble and sacked anyway. Guess who got up there? Double team didn't matter. Parsons and Enoch Barty.
Elevates off his feet. Not sure he needed to dive for that. This one's where you want a little rack.
Let them take it. Look out! Goff is smoke. Guess who? Micah Parsons. Third and goal. Goff. Pressure. In trouble. Hit and dropped. It's Micah Parsons again.
Sack party yesterday in Detroit for our guy Micah Parsons. Man, that was fantastic for the entire team. The defense did its job. I know, you give up 24 points and you think, all right, maybe, but no, the defense did its job. They look great. I just saw a note that on plays that Evan Williams got to the line of scrimmage when Jahmyr Gibbs was running the ball, he had 4 carries for 4 yards. Evan Williams was a master tackling yesterday. The defense and the only negative, not negative, but the only sad part I think is of course Devontae Wyatt. I think we're hearing fractured ankle, right? Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
No, and so most likely out for the rest of the season. And honestly, I think we'll talk about this next week. I do think they have to go out and get a replacement. As much as they want to go next man up, like a guy like Christian Wilkins or something like that, I think they need to find their Howard Green. If you remember the 2010, 2011 late replacement on the D line, just that big guy who takes up space, who can help stop the run. You're not going to get the athleticism of Devontae Wyatt. You're not going to be able to replace him. He, just coming off 2 sacks last week, it was awesome having him back after he had an injury earlier this year. And it's just too bad for Devontae.
Yeah, it's going to be a big miss and something that they're going to have to make up. I thought Warren Brinson played all right. Colby Wooden also in on a couple of plays, and they have some ability of that. But you hit it right, too, by saying that they're just not going to find that sort of athleticism that he brings from that position. And for some reason, the Green Bay Packers, I think that really their run-stopping ability against Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions specifically, I don't think it does derive from the defensive line play. I think it's the linebacker play, and especially with the athleticism that typically Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper always have. They can cover that whole field pretty well. But another guy like Isaiah McDuffie, he just comes up in big moments for this team. And I know that there was a lot of pass coverage mishaps with him, but he stuffed the 3rd down and 4th down runs back to back when he was out there on that first turnover on downs for the Lions. And he continues to be a menace in the run stopping. And anytime they blitz up the middle from his position, I think that the Packers, we probably knew this already, but I need to get this out on the air. I mean, they just have the best linebacker room in the NFL. I don't think there's a question.
Certainly the most athletic, no doubt about that. I think, and you hit the nail on the head there with McDuffie, is like, I think what Hafley needs to do moving forward for the rest of the year is put him in his best position to succeed. Because you're right, like for the second week in a row, because we talked about this last week, how like the game started and you and I were both like, man, McDuffie's not looking so great. And then all of a sudden he looked amazing. And it's kind of like the same thing yesterday. Like there were times he didn't look great, and then all of a sudden he looked amazing. And it's like, all right, so what do we do? Which McDuffie are we getting here? Is it, because there were times, and I think Sparky tweeted this out during the game yesterday, like, is it Hopper time? Like, do we need to go to Tyron Hopper because McDuffie's missing and maybe he's just like out athletic in the pass coverage game. Like he can't cover the running backs or even athletic wide receivers. But when it comes to stuffing the run, when it comes to rushing the passer, he gets it done more often than not. So kudos to him. He ended up with 12 tackles, 7 solo, lead the team. Evan Williams again with 9 tackles. Edge looked pretty good. And so I think that I was nervous when I saw that Quay wasn't going to play, because I was thinking to myself, against Jahmyr Gibbs, like, you want your most athletic, fastest guys out there, because Jahmyr Gibbs, we've talked about this. I mean, he's awesome. We talk about it with Mikey Henninger all the time. who was off this week, but he'll be back next week to get all your fantasy football stuff. Remember, it's basementbroodff.com if you need some fantasy help for this weekend. But I just I was nervous, and then I saw, and then Jahmyr Gibbs he didn't get him.
He doesn't Jahmyr Gibbs against the Packers.
No, which is crazy.
That was the most yards. That was the most yards he's ever had against the Packers yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So awesome job throughout. I just think, yes, there's always nitpicky things, but the game was a great game for the Packers. It really hurts the Lions' chances to have any dreams of winning the division, hurts them in the playoff chase as well. The Packers are right at the top of the division. I mean, and they get the Bears 2 of the next 3 weeks. So Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, is joining us next here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Let's go.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
That's right. This is the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch Nellis and Tommy Wirtz here with you. Thanks for listening all around the great state of Wisconsin on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Whether you're in Green Bay, whether you're in Wausau, whether you're in Milwaukee, whether you're in Duluth, Superior, thank you for chiming in. And wherever else you're listening to while you're watching us on YouTube or on Twitter at WI Sports Radio on our social handles. Of course, you can always chime in 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Your favorite moments from yesterday, the best thing you ate, the best thing you bought on a Black Friday shopping deal today, and of course, your favorite moment from the Green Bay Packers game. Speaking of our Green Bay Packers, joining us as he does after every Green Bay Packers game, our good friend Ryan Wood from the Green Bay Press-Gazette. Ryan, happy Thanksgiving and happy Friday to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Hope your holiday was good.
It was. I definitely ate everything twice, and I'm feeling it today. No doubt about it. Yeah. I know we mentioned it last week, but I did see our friend Dario Melendez posted a picture of his plate from Detroit. How was the Thanksgiving fare at the game yesterday?
They had pecan pie and pumpkin pie, and that was it. What I enjoyed was after the game, me and several of my colleagues on the beat, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse downtown and kind of.
Oh yes,
that was really nice.
Was it one where you have the green side and the red side coin, and you just keep that green side up, and you just keep the meats coming, baby?
Yep. I never turn red. It is green all the way, all gas, no break.
Ryan, when you come next time you come to Milwaukee, we'll hit up the grill together, and I will definitely partake. Nice. Well, I mean, so I started the show, and I kind of want to start here before we get into like all the glory and all the happiness, because yesterday really was a happy day for so many things. I guess I can't believe, because sports fans are sports fans, but even national broadcasters, I can't believe the number of people I woke up to and then throughout this morning saw on Twitter just absolutely lambasting the officials, specifically with the Wicks touchdown catch and with the false start with Belton and the timeout at the same time. We're like national guys are like having tantrums about, the Packers, the fix was in and stuff like that. Like, I mean, like stuff like that happens every week in the NFL. Like, what do we like? I don't know. I don't know that I have a question about it, but what were your observations of those plays and how they fit in with the scheme of the game?
Yeah. Okay. So there's two things here. One, were the officials good or not? And then two, did it alter in any way the outcome of the game? The first, no, the officials missed calls. They missed calls both ways. I mean, I think that it's fair to say that video sure seemed to show that Matt LaFleur didn't get the timeout called before Anthony Belton false start. As far as the Dontavian Wicks touchdown, I don't see how you can overturn that play one way or the other. If it's called a catch on the field, if it wasn't called a catch, I don't think you can make it a catch. I think, to me, it was a catch. Was there movement? Sure, but I don't think it was clear that he ever lost control of the ball after his right foot was down. So I had no problem with that. But if you want to say, okay, they missed calls for the Lions, I mean, Christian Watson had his wrist held, forcing him to make a one-handed catch. They missed calls for the Packers too. So no, they were not good. My bigger thing is it in no way affected this game. The Packers controlled this game throughout, and what this game came down to was 5 plays all on 4th down. And the Packers were 3 for 3, and the Lions were 0-2. That was the game.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
preach on.
Officials have nothing to do with that.
All right, Ryan Wood joining us here on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I absolutely agree. And it was, those are numbers that you can't argue. I mean, 3 for 3 and 0 for 2. I think that went a long way toward determining this game. I will say that watching this game, and I watched it with my extended family. A lot of them don't watch the Packers week in and week out. They were pretty impressed by what they saw. They thought Love looked really good. They thought the receivers looked good. Obviously, Micah had a great game. Like, I feel like this is the game you walk away from, not, besides the Devontae Wyatt injury, which of course we'll talk about and is the sad part of the game. But overall, like, this team looked really good yesterday, I thought.
That was a team that could win the Super Bowl. They controlled the game on the road against a really good Lions team that was playing with desperation, because now it's 7-5 on the outside of the NFC playoff picture looking in, which is a position that is subpar of what the talent on their roster. And it was fascinating yesterday to hear Detroit fans booing Dan Campbell. If you would have closed your eyes and not known that you were at Ford Field, you would have thought it was Lambeau Field and it was Matt LaFleur. I mean, it sounded exactly like that. This was a team that was playing with desperation with a lot of talent, and the Packers controlled that game throughout. 4 times they had a double-digit lead. They never trailed. So that was they controlled the game, and it for me it was a 3-pronged win. It was Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, and Micah Parsons. Matt LaFleur coached his took us off. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to talk about a coach that, okay, where's the aggression? Where's the creativity? He showed it all in the biggest game of the year. Now, I'm not saying that, he still has work to do with this team, but that was a championship coaching level. It was a masterclass. He out Dan Campbell, and he ran laps around him for one game, which just happened to be the biggest game of the year. So you start there. Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Quarterback play at its finest is maximizing big plays and minimizing mistakes. That's textbook what he did. And the fact that this is the blueprint for the Packers offense, their passing game. They want to spread the wealth, right? That they've always talked about. It's not just one guy. The 3 fourth down passes that he completed were done to Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Doubs, and someone else.
Christian Watson, right? Wasn't it Christian
Watson? Yeah. There you go. The biggest play of the game was to Christian Watson. It was all hands on deck instead of targeting in on one guy. And then you see that, you start to wonder, okay, maybe they're onto something with spreading the wealth. Maybe when all players are involved and they're put in the best position to succeed, this offense can become something greater than the sum of its parts. I think that's what you saw. As far as Micah Parsons goes, how neat is it that on a play that he makes NFL history for only player, not just first player, only player in NFL history with at least a dozen sacks first 5 seasons. It was the same play he called game. Like, when records are broken or set, you want it to be relevant in the context of the game. That couldn't have been more relevant. And the play he was 8 yards away from Jared Goff on that inside stunt, and he closed like he teleported to the quarterback. That's why he's the only player in NFL history with 5 straight seasons to start a career with a dozen sacks. So when you have those 3 elements clicking at that level, the Packers have a higher gear that not many teams in this league can match. They don't play at that all the time, but it's there, and we've seen it. It wasn't the first time we saw it in Detroit, but it was maybe the largest portion of a game that we've seen it this year.
Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Ryan, let's talk about Christian Watson a little bit, because we've given our love out to Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. And Dontavian Wicks, a big game as well. But Christian Watson, I don't think anyone could have anticipated. It feels like we continue to say this every week, how productive he looks and how, efficient he looks after returning back from that ACL injury. Ryan, I don't even remember the last time the Green Bay Packers completed a ball like they did on that touchdown to Christian Watson. How much do you see Jordan Love developing that trust, or already having that trust and implementing it a little more this year? This is the best version of Christian Watson I think we've seen on this Green Bay Packers team, and in a desperate need for the trust of a number 1 option when Tucker Kraft goes out. Christian Watson seems to be stepping up to that moment and taking real big advantage of it, Ryan.
I think that you have seen the landscape fundamentally change in this offense's passing game over the last 2 weeks, and it needs to stay that way. right? That's a big statement that I just made, and we don't know what next week looks like. But it needs to stay this way because we talk about spreading the wealth, and they did that. Everyone was involved. But then you look at the stat sheet. Christian Watson led the way with 10 targets. Dontavian Wicks, who I think there's a lot to say there. Dontavian Wicks has always had the talent to do what you just saw on Thanksgiving. He's always had that talent. The NFL is full of very, very talented players. I feel the same way about Dontavian Wicks. I feel, by the way, about Luke Musgrave. There's no shortage of talent there. But what makes a good player something more than a talented player is the consistency. Are you able to do it consistently week in and week out? Those are good players in this league. Everyone's talented. Dontavian Wicks he had the drops last year. He had the injury, the calf injury that has been bothering him since training camp this year. He has not been consistent enough to be a good player, but the talent is there for him to do what he did on a more consistent basis. He had 7 targets, second. Romeo Doubs was third with 4 targets. Doesn't that just seem like the way it should be in this offense? And by no means, Romeo Doubs had a fourth and goal from the 2 touchdown. He should be a part of this offense. I'm not calling for him to be exiled to the sideline by any means, but should he be your leading target guy every week when you have Christian Watson on the field, when Dontavian Wicks gets open to the rate that he does? No. And so when good offense is getting the ball to your best players as much as possible, they were able to do that and kind of spread the wealth. That is the carbon copy, no matter what week it is, who they're playing, of how they draw it up, how they want it to look offensively in this passing game.
No doubt about it. Ryan Wood joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, and talking about those wide receivers. Christian Watson just tilts the field. I actually had a question about the offensive line because I feel like I didn't really notice the offensive line yesterday. And a lot of times we say that's the biggest compliment you can give them. We didn't see a lot of false starts. We didn't see a lot of holding calls. Is there a chance this offensive line with Belton now in at guard is starting to round into shape at the right time?
As good as the passing game was, I don't think it would have been as good if not for this was the best version of Josh Jacobs in the run game that we have seen in a long time. He didn't have 100 yards, but he had a 29-yarder, his longest of the season, his first 20-yard carry of the season. And I do think that they have found something with Sean Ryan at center and Anthony Belton at right guard they got a lot of just mass on the interior of their offensive line now. Those are people movers. You're going to sacrifice something in pass protection, but the reality in this league is the quarterback makes the pass protection much more than the offensive line makes the pass protection. And when Jordan Love, I don't know if you saw what Aiden Hutchinson after the game, I thought it was fascinating. He talked about Jordan Love's ability to drift back in the pocket away from the pressure, which buys time, which he is able to do because he has one of the best, pure, strongest arms in the league. He relies on that and he buys time. I think that you can put more on Jordan Love there. He's very good at handling the pressure, avoiding sacks, and put more of that pass protection on him. And the reward of that is what you get in the run game, especially on your interior with those guys now in place. Why that matters? Look at the Christian Watson 51-yard touchdown. Look at the deep shot. Christian Watson told me after the game that they had noticed late in the first half the Lions were a bit flat-footed. They were starting to really cheat up against Josh Jacobs in that run game because it was working. They talked at halftime about, okay, this is going to be an opportunity here early in the second half to take a shot. And Christian Watson had single coverage down the right sideline. You like those odds against just about anyone in the league because of his height, his size, his speed. And that deep shot was set up by the fact that the Lions were cheating up against the run game because they were actually posing a viable threat there.
Yeah, Ryan, I wanted to ask a little bit more about this defense for the Green Bay Packers. 2 things. The Devontae Wyatt injury, how impactful is that going to be for Green Bay down the line? It sounds like it's probably season-ending based on what we've heard so far from it, whether it is an ankle or lower leg injury to him. And how would you ultimately look at their performance from yesterday? Because it seemed like they came up in big moments, but 24 points, we're not all that used to the Green Bay's defense giving up 24 points. They got to the quarterback at a pretty efficient rate. A great pass rush, obviously, and they neutralized Jahmyr Gibbs. But a big day for Jamison Williams, and they didn't have their number one option in Amon-Ra St. Brown there. How do you look at the defense from yesterday, and how do you look at it for the future without Devontae Wyatt?
Yeah, 24 points. That still ties the fewest the Lions have scored at home all season.
Okay.
And it would have been it could have been 20 points if Carrington Valentine makes that tackle, right? I mean, you want to know where the Packers miss Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs makes that tackle. That's what Nate Hobbs does well. He brings physicality at the quarter position. So I think that'll be very interesting there going forward. If Nate Hobbs does return, he's listed questionable, I believe. If he returns next week, how do they figure that out? Because that play was just screaming Nate Hobbs. As far as Devontae Wyatt goes, it's huge. I mean, there's no de-emphasizing the impact that him not being on the field makes. Micah Parsons called him a player that you cannot replace, and there's a good reason for that, because Micah Parsons makes every single player on the defense better. Devontae Wyatt is the player that makes Micah Parsons better. There's no coincidence that in the last two games, Micah Parsons had 4.5 sacks. The uptick in just getting home and actually getting sacks coincides with Devontae Wyatt being full Devontae Wyatt for the first time since that Week 4 knee injury. Devontae Wyatt had 2 sacks against the Vikings. He hadn't had a sack since before the knee injury. It took him a few weeks to get there. He had gotten there. And then, by the way, all of a sudden, Micah Parsons is sacking everybody. Devontae Wyatt's the player that makes Micah Parsons better. Not having him, that is going to be a massive thing. There's very few players on any roster, including this one, where you look at and you say, they can't win a Super Bowl without this player. I'm not sure that Devontae Wyatt is one of those players, but I'm not sure he isn't either. I mean, he's right on the fringe. That's how important he is to where the Packers want to go.
Ryan Wood joining us, wrapping things up. Did Brandon McManus, was he trying to kick the ball into the end zone? Is that something, do you know if they care about that as much as, it seems like a lot of other teams were trying to get those run backs. McManus, I think Tommy was telling me earlier today, McManus, even with missing the games, is 5th in the league in touchbacks. Like, do they care about the touchback that much, or is he trying to get a little too cute, getting it down to the 1 yard line and just got it over the goal line?
Yeah, I don't know specifically about that kick, but I've heard Rich Bisaccia say enough this season that was not the plan when the ball found the end zone to truly believe that was not the plan. Yeah. And something's got to change there. That can't keep happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ryan, enjoy. Hopefully you get a couple days off as the team does, and you get to take a little mini bye here.
Going to have Thanksgiving dinner with the family in a few hours here. Going to actually enjoy my Thanksgiving. It was a great time in Detroit. I'll tell you what, that halftime show was phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
fire.
Oh, when Eminem comes out there, I mean, you're not allowed to cheer in the press box, and I was able to abide by that rule. But internally, I lost my you-know-what a little bit. That was pretty cool. So it was a good time at Thanksgiving. But I'm looking forward to some family time now.
Awesome. Well, enjoy it. You deserve it. Thanks so much for jumping on, and we'll talk to you, like a week from Monday, I guess?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, bud. Take care.
All right, take care.
Yeah, that's Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, inside the locker room, on his way finally to Thanksgiving dinner with his family. Remember, sports talk and football talk on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game every Sunday on CBS and Paramount Plus all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Tommy, you ever crush the Brazilian barbecue? You ever get to the grill?
I've been to a couple of them. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about with the coin. Flipping it on, flipping it over. I'm a fan. It's like I something about like
keto friendly.
Yeah. It's just like something about they come to serve it to you. Is something special too. You feel more important every time you're at those places. But yeah, delicious food always. I've been in the game for a while on the Brazilian buffet style.
Nice. Love that. And again, our thanks to Ryan Wood for jumping on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. When we come back, we have Mason's picks. We're going to make our predictions for the games. We didn't post them yesterday. Mason and Tommy both had the Packers. I had the Lions. So we start the week. They are both 1-0. I am 0-1. We will pick the Bears-Eagles game, which starts in just about 40 minutes here. And then we've got, of course, the Badgers game to get to. Gee, we haven't talked a whole lot about our Milwaukee Bucks, Tommy. I think.
Wonder why.
Okay. Yeah, I wonder why. All right. Well, let's get into our pick section, pick selection next, right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. He's Tommy. I'm Thunder.
It's time for the boys' weekly picks. Hear who they think will win the big games this weekend. Just don't trust them. It's weekly picks with Mason Crosby, Mitch Nellis, and Tommy Wirtz.
Touchdown. 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 Ah, that's the cutest little kid voice touchdown in the history of touchdown in that intro. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Tommy's in the studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am parts unknown, East Tennessee, rural East Tennessee. It's funny, I'm in Tennessee, but Mason's not. Mason, I believe, is in Manhattan, Kansas, right? He's hanging out with Jordy?
Yeah,
he's on the way.
Okay. If not there, one of the two. Yeah, that's where he's going. I think, and that's Colorado, Kansas State this week, right? Yeah,
that's right. Yep.
So and then next time we're live, you'll be live together at the Toy Drive.
That's right. Yep, that's exactly right. We'll be at the 19th annual Toy Drive for Children's Wisconsin and Robin's Nest at Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network will be there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily from Monday through Friday. But Sparky is broadcasting his show there for 5 days. We will be there. The Mason Crosby Show will be there on Monday and on Friday. Mason will be there specifically on Monday from noon to 2. So make sure you come donate your brand new toys. They have a whole Toyland section there that you can buy toys there and just donate them. You can also go to wisportsradio.com to donate, and you can donate money and help out all the kids as well. Well, let's get into our weekly picks. We already made our Packers picks, of course, and I told Tommy I was going to post them on social yesterday. And then, of course, we were deep frying chickpeas, and we were deep frying pickles, and we were deep frying okra. And then, of course, we did onions before we did the turkey.
Nice.
So we had to do all that. I had Detroit winning 30-24. Like I said in the first hour of the show, I've never been so happy to be wrong. I love that I was wrong. Tommy, what was your predicted score yesterday?
I think I had 27-20. I think I had the margin correct on that one for the Packers. I'm looking through our texts right now. Yeah. We send so many.
I know Mason had 24-20 Packers. He thought it'd be a little bit lower scoring. So he had 24-20, and I'm not seeing it right.
Oh no, yeah. So I had 27-20. You had 30-24 Lions.
Yeah.
And I don't think Crosby threw a score out, but he did pick.
No, he had 24-20.
Oh, okay, perfect.
He had Packers 24-20. So you guys both started the week 1-0. I started 0-1. But let's jump right ahead. Half an hour. We're half an hour away from kickoff. The Black Friday game is the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles. And before we get to our picks for this game, of course, it's our nature to cheer against the Bears. If the Bears lose this game, the Packers are in first place in the North, and that's great, and that's what we want. It's vexing, right? It's vexing all of us that the Bears are in first place. Tommy, are you vexed? Would you say?
No, I just don't trust it. So I can't.
It, but it's still annoying. It's still annoying to see Radar from our little sister station 99.1 The Mix, wearing all his Bear stuff and talking smack. I totally agree. But we have Mason's pick from yesterday on this one too. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect.
So but I do want to say that there's an undercurrent of support that not for the NFC North, but for the NFC, that it might be better for the Bears to beat the Eagles today. Because remember, the Packers still have 2 games left against the Bears. And if the Packers take care of business and sweep the Bears, it will be better for the Packers if the Packers would have beaten the Eagles for the entire NFC standings, not for the NFC North for the end of November and the beginning of December. But big picture, it might be better for the Packers if the Bears could escape with a win today.
Do you want the overall 1 seed? Do you want that 1 bye? Or do you think that if the Packers ended up the 2 seed or the 3 seed and get a home playoff game regardless, it doesn't really matter?
I don't think I need the 1 seed. I'm not a big 1 seed guy. I am a big 2 or 3 seed guy though. I like having that home game.
Yeah, For sure. Makes sense too, right? You get to play, a game against a team that's sneaking into the playoffs, and hopefully that means they're an inferior opponent, and you get to still get some reps, and the rest versus rust argument always coming into play. And if I'm not mistaken, last year the Eagles were the 2 seed, right? Because the Packers were the 7 seed, and they found that all the way going to the Super Bowl and eventually winning that game as well during that time. So I don't hate getting the 2 seed if that were to happen. I don't need to root for the number 1 overall seed. I'd like the guaranteed home playoff game. And if you're the 2 seed, you're going to get another home playoff game if you win anyway, because you're not going to play the 1 seed right away. So I don't necessarily think that I'm looking that far ahead thinking, I got to root for it that way. With that being said, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the game where it starts to unfold and everyone starts to see the true Chicago Bears. In my mind, they have not played anyone exciting during this time. They're sneaking away with victories all too often. This gives me 2023, I believe, Minnesota Vikings vibes, where they're just going to ride their way to the 2 seed with a negative point differential, and ultimately Danny Jones eliminates them from the playoffs without them winning a playoff game. So that's exactly what this feels like to me when I talk about the Chicago Bears. I'm taking Eagles -7.
I am 100% on board with you, Mr. Wirtz. I feel literally like you literally spoke the words that I believe. Like, that is literally what I believe about this game. I completely agree. As there's a dog had wandered in here.
There is a real chance, Mitch Nellis, that the Bears don't win 10 games with their remaining schedule. They are
absolutely,
and there is a real chance. Their easiest game is against the Cleveland Browns, who are no slouch and can go toe-to-toe with anyone because of how good their defense is this year. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were able to, maybe Shador's got some magic working during that time and has something working and cruising for Cleveland. I think that this Bears team, like, their season starts today, more than anything else. So if they're for real, they'll back it up today.
I said it on Monday that they could go 9-8. They're 8-3. I said it on Monday they could go 9-8, and I think they'll get to 10, but I don't think they'll get much further past that. Mason, for the record, is picking the Bears plus the 7 points. He is picking the Bears to cover the points, so he's got the Bears. You and I both have the Eagles, and we are literally on the same page about what this game could look like for the Bears, what it could mean for them moving on down the road for the rest of the season.
Black Friday game, yeah or nay?
I would say nay. I don't like that there's a game today. I like that there's college football today.
Sure.
Texas is at Texas A&M. A&M's favored, even though Texas is a couple games better than them. I like that. I like that. Ole Miss.
No, it's vice versa there. Texas is favored, or what? Because
A&M's
A&M.
A&M,
yeah.
Oh, then it's A&M at what did I see? Whatever I saw when I saw the line, it looked weird. Maybe they weren't favored by enough.
Maybe that could be. I mean, Texas could probably.
Yeah, you're right.
It's in Austin. If I'm not, is it in Austin or is it in Kyle Field? I can't remember now. But yeah, I mean, it's rivalry week in college sports, and
I like that Ole Miss is taking on Mississippi State. I like that Georgia and Georgia Tech are playing today. So it's A&M at Texas. A&M's only favored by 2.5.
Got it.
So I'm not picking A&M, but I love A&M.
Yeah, I understand.
That's what I know. Yeah.
Got it. Should we get to rivalry week then with our next picks and start off with the game? The game is this week. Michigan and Ohio State. Ohio State is kind of been their bugaboo, right? As of Reese, that they're not able.
Beat Michigan. They can't beat
them. They're winning national titles, but they can't beat Michigan. I think it's 4 years in a row they have yet to beat Michigan now. And I think that you would take the trade of lose this game and win a national title, right? But for some reason, it feels like Ohio State might feel a little differently even about it, and that they haven't been able to get this done over the last couple of years now, few years. So the 9.5, I'm taking Ohio State and I'm hammering it. If I could alternate line it, I would go 14. I think they win by 2 touchdowns in this one. Look, Bryce Underwood looks great. He's ultimately 18 years old. the Ohio State is by far the best team in the NCAA, in my opinion. And I think that the Ohio State team has something to prove against Michigan with the roster they have this year. I think they want to bury them because of what they have done to them in the past. Give me Ohio State with -9.5.
Michigan has won 5 games in a row. They beat Washington 24-7. I feel like that's a decent win. They won at Michigan State 31-20. That's nothing. Michigan State's terrible. They beat Purdue 21-16. You should be beating Purdue by 3 touchdowns. They won at Northwestern 24-22. Again, nothing too impressive about that. They won at Maryland 45-20, going on the road, winning by 25. That's fine. Michigan doesn't impress me at all. I'm still taking Michigan in this game.
Wow.
I'm still taking Michigan to cover in this game. I think Ohio State wins, but I think that bugaboo continues. And I think Ohio State does get a little bit of the monkey off their back. But I think Michigan makes it a defensive effort. I think they grind this game. I think they shorten the game. And that's what they did last year. And we'll see if there's a fight, if anybody tries to plant a flag or anything like that. But man, I love that. I loved Michigan planting the flag in Columbus. I thought Ohio State's reaction was so JV, so weak sauce.
Hell no! You plant the flag if you want to go
win the game, bro. Win the game, bro.
For sure, win the game. But planting the flag on your field is disrespectful.
Oh, it's definitely disrespectful.
Which I'm all for the ish talking too. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that. I'm just saying that. I'm not going to be like, oh, Ohio State was Bush for that, because, yeah, you should be mad that you lost to them. And the best way to defend it is not with your words and with fists after the game, but rather smacking the pads during the game. So two things can be true, I think, on that statement. Rivalry week continuing.
Hold on. Mason's got Michigan in this
Mason is also on Michigan, so it's just me with Ohio State. That's just me. How about this one? The Badgers are favored in a football game. On the road. This game opened up at 2.5, and I told you from that moment, I was like, why is it so close? No way. Why is it so close? And it is moved to 1.5 in favor of the Badgers.
Right. So it has moved 4 points.
Crazy.
Minnesota opened favored by 2.5. It has moved 4 points. Wisconsin now favored by 1.5. Listen, we should probably have gotten a reporter from Minnesota on. There's got to be a quarterback injury or a defensive. There's got to be something going on here. This can't just be the public moving this game 4 points because the Badgers beat Illinois at home.
I don't know. I don't think you want to play the Badgers right now. They feel like they're clicking a little bit too.
I know, but they're also not playing at home. I mean, we saw this with the Badgers, and they played a half against Indiana. They played a great half against Indiana. Are you taking Wisconsin?
I'm taking the Badgers.
I think we're all taking the Badgers, right?
You gotta right now. I've never been so proud of a team with 4 wins. Like, that's just where I'm at right now.
I want the bowl game, Tommy. I want at 5-7. I want them to say yes this year. I know they said no last year. If they get to 5-7 and they can get into a bowl game and get that momentum and show, because they need that positive pub. They need that positive publicity. I think even if they play like, directional school, whatever, I think they need that positive pub of playing a bowl game.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I'm all in on it. We have one more game from our slate because Mason Crosby as well rocking with the Badgers. Minnesota is at Seattle. That's the Minnesota Vikings. Seattle favored by 12 in this one. That line is crazy, but also dude, you want to bet on JJ McCarthy? I can't do it, Mitch. I have to take Seattle with 12-point favorite. I don't believe in JJ McCarthy at all. I just don't. And that is talking from a non-Packer standpoint of this guy is as bad as Nathan Peterman, it feels like, when he was playing football games.
He was awful.
He was awful. So I'm in on Seattle. Sam Darnold revenge game as well. JSN goes for 200 yards in this game, probably too. So give me Seattle with the 12.
Kevin Seifert, who's the Vikings reporter on ESPN.com, kind of like Rob Demovsky for the Packers. has an article up from a couple days ago where the veterans on the Vikings acknowledge the struggles, acknowledge it's been tough, but everybody's saying that they have all his that they have his back. McCarthy again not cleared from concussion symptoms. Max Brosmer took all the first team reps on Wednesday. So I haven't seen anything. I mean, I don't know how you don't take Seattle. I think you have to take Seattle, even if you think this line is crazy and that the Vikings can't possibly be this bad. Well, we saw them this bad last week at Lambeau, and they are this bad right now. Whether it's McCarthy or if it ends up being Brosmer, the bro.
Right. Yeah, again, the guy who is below the depth chart on JJ McCarthy, this could get ugly. This could get really ugly, and it could
not
be
even
really
below.
bad.
I mean, Carson Wentz was the veteran backup. If Wentz was playing, like this wouldn't be 12.5. This would be 7.5.
I agree. I think you're 100% right. And Crosby as well, rocking with Seattle, which means we have our solo games of the week. Pick whatever you want. Betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, by the way. Colts is Mason Crosby's pick. 3.5-point favorites only over the Houston Texans. I like the pick, to be honest. I know Danny Jones, it came out that he has like a fracture in his leg he's playing with right now.
Playing through it. Yep.
You can hand the ball off if you got a broken leg. That's all we know.
And they're home. They're at home, only a 3.5-point favorite. I think that's a good pick.
Defense pretty good, so that's why.
Yeah. I mean, it should be low scoring, but the Colts should get the win, and then you're playing with 3.5 points, so that can get a little hairy sometimes, but you never know. I am in the Appalachians. I am in rural East Tennessee. And from the plane, when I landed, I could see Neyland Stadium. Nice. And I know that there are going to be 100,000 crazy, maybe 105,000, I think it is. 105,000 just crazy Volunteers fans. Tennessee taking on Vandy. This used to be the cakewalk of all cakewalks, right? Vandy was nobody. Listen, we love Pavia. Pavia's our guy. Pavia is great. But I think coming in to that orange and white checkerboard, coming into Tennessee, only favored by 2.5. This one's going to be a shootout. Defense is going to be optional in this one. But I'm taking the Tennessee Volunteers. Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. I'll take the Vols, baby.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Diego Pavia covers. That's what he does. So I just think that this game is terrifying. But, of course, you got to rock with the hometown while you're in there. I'm going to go back to the NFL for my solo game this week. And I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, who I don't know if I've bet on this week, this year rather, but they are going to Pittsburgh. And I am going to, again, play a little bit of a risk on, do we know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? Is he coming back? Is he ready to be back here?
I don't think we know yet.
He could be in this game. I think even with him in this game, the Bills need to find a statement win somewhere along their line of this season. A lot of people losing trust in them, it feels like. I'm going to take them -3.5 as favorites over the Pittsburgh Steelers to round things out.
Aaron Rodgers is expected to start, by the way.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So I don't know if that changes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay. So, okay. All right. All right.
Reviewing
that's
the
an
picks.
interesting. I think the Bills. Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. The reviewing the picks. I'm going to take, so we have Eagles for me and Mitch today with the Bears playing. Seattle, everyone rocking with, going up 12 points against Minnesota. We're all riding with the Badgers to go get the axe this weekend. The game is split between Mason Crosby and Mitch Nellis taking Michigan. I have Ohio State. And our solo games go all favorites of Colts, Tennessee, and Buffalo.
Nice. And that's the Tennessee Volunteers, by the way.
Yes.
We will be back to wrap things up right here on the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. We'll wrap things up next right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Bringing it back with Rebecca Black. Here we go. It is Friday. So much going on this weekend. First of all, Tommy, are you ready for the snow?
Dude, I'm not. I hate snow, man. And I had this conversation with Sparky a couple days ago, and Sparky's like, I love snow. You know, I even like shoveling. I'm like, who the hell likes shoveling? And tomorrow, like, supposed to get, up to 11 inches of snow.
Yep.
That's not shovel snow. That's not shovel snow. You don't love shoveling 11 inches of snow. So fire up your snowblower today. Make sure it works, because you never know if you need it. It's kind of like a backup quarterback.
That is a great point. A lot going on right now. Marquette leading Oklahoma by 4 at the half. In Chicago right now, Bears and Eagles about to kick off. Badgers taking on TCU this afternoon at 4:30. Bucks and Knicks. Bucks aren't eliminated from the Cup, but they basically are, by the way the tiebreakers.
They have to win by 50 next game.
And I think they need Miami to lose.
Yeah.
And they're 20 points behind Cleveland so they have to win by at least 20 points more than whatever Cleveland wins by.
Right.
So
not looking great.
No, not looking great at all.
Also, Buck's social media team, like, posting this when Giannis was walking in, like, feels like they probably had some that's a conflict of interest. It feels like there. I know he was wearing the Jordan shirt where he's doing this, but don't post that on a guy who's questionable to play, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't love that. He's questionable again tonight, so we'll find out tonight if he's going to play against the Knicks again in their final Open Cup game of this season. Badgers Gophers at 2:30 tomorrow for the Axe. Badgers favored by 1.5 points. Everybody, get all your Black Friday deals in. Get all your eat all your leftovers. Have an awesome Friday. Enjoy Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Coming up next with Sparky. It's going to be a blast. Tommy, it was awesome. See you on Monday, brother.
See you on Monday.
Cannot wait. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The snow's coming. Let's get ready, everybody. The Packers already won. Sit back and relax.
I was